Okay, guys, I gotta be really honest. Times have been kind of tough lately, and it almost feels like I ran into a brick wall at this point. So, I've been trying to redefine myself recently, and I started going to church. And that was when I finally met the church of Cherubi. Okay, I was just joking for the intro, but there has been something that's been bothering me quite recently, and that is for you who are watching right now and you haven't subscribed yet. So by subscribing and turning on that notification bell, you will know every time a new Digimon deck profile or video is out. We got lots more content coming up, so be sure to stay tuned. Also, don't forget to give this video a like, as it really helps the YouTube algorithm. Alright, jokes aside, let's talk about Cherubimon. I actually have yet to try play purple hybrids until I finally chose to do so recently, and that's pretty far into the meta already. Also, since I haven't done a video on purple hybrids generally either, I thought it would just make sense to do so anyways, and share with all of you guys with my personal take on this deck. First off, this deck is actually very fun to play. Purple has the highest learning curve in Digimon, and its potential is actually limitless. Because of that, the deck really requires quite a bit of time to learn and to master in order to play actually well. But don't worry, I got you covered as usual, because we got a couple of basic combo guides after the deck profile to help you get started. However, there is one interesting thing, and that is because you would actually run yellow Digi-Eggs and Rookies instead. That is because you can actually gain a lot of value and make very powerful combinations that derive from mixing the two colors all together. And that allows you to get the best of both worlds. We'll explain it in more detail as we go through our deck profile, so let's just get right into it anyways. Alright, let's start off with the Digi-Eggs. Now, this is going to be a lot more interesting because we're going to have a yellow Digi-Egg lineup, which is kind of unusual. However, it's actually really good because it just synergizes so greatly with the deck. So let's first off showcase you guys with the 4 copies of the Upamon and 1 copy of the Koromon right here. Upamon essentially is just for draw power. We just want to draw more cards, get more pieces, and basically allow us to make more plays. It's really good for purple. And when purple gets a lot more draw power, it means we can make more plays. And then we have the Koromon, which is sort of like a one-off. If you guys don't like Koromon, you can just stick to the 4 Upamons just for consistency, but the Koromon does come up every now and then. Being able to minus your opponent's Digimon by 1000 DP can come in handy at times. So that's basically it for the Digi-Egg. So like I mentioned, with the rookies, most of them are basically yellow, and let's just basically start off right here with the 3 copies of Bushi Agumon. Bushi is just incredibly good because it has the rush capability, and synergizing along with purple and Cherubimon, you can basically play these rookies back for free and basically do a lot of combos. And mainly with Bushi, it allows you to swing immediately on play, ignoring the summoning sickness. That's the reason why. Next up, I have 3 Cutemons right here. Hybrid meta is just incredibly powerful. Getting into the level 5s are just really good for all our opponents generally. That's why I want to maximize a bit more on Cutemon. 4 is a bit too much, so I think 3 is a really good number for me. And during playtesting, it just works very nicely because it just stops those level 5 hybrids from coming out as easily, and your opponent has to play around it a little bit. So Cutemon is much more relevant currently, I think. Next up, we have the 2 Salamons right here. This card is more of a later game rookie type because in the early game it doesn't serve too much purpose, because on deletion, if you have 3 or less security, you get to recover 1, and its whole purpose is that, you know, it helps you sustain a little bit longer in the mid game to the late game generally. And I feel like, you know, this deck does thrive quite well in the late game, but in late game you want to play more aggressive instead, and playing defensive it just gives you a bit of good mid-range, basically juggling between your security so you don't get popped off too easily by your opponents. Last but not least, for more recovery, I think 1 Lucemon is fantastic. Just strong DP, very easily to be played back. Usually, again, we normally want this card in the trash so that we can play it back via different effects. And yeah, that's basically what Lucemon does, very similar to Salamon. Then, to round up for the rookies, we of course have the 4 copies of Bokomon right here. Bokomon is just so crucial because this is your key searcher, your only searcher for the deck. And purple doesn't play much searching at all. So Bokomon 100% must have the 4 copies of, doing great because you can always, you know, Digivolve into Tamer for free once per turn, gaining your 2 memory back. It's just really nice, and it's hybrid, so Bokomon's is a must. So that's it for all of our rookies and our essential yellow Digi-Egg base with the rookie package. Now we're gonna go into the purple stuff right here. It's gonna be very standard. In most cases, you guys might be more familiar and seen it most already, but you know, we've got the 4 Lowimons, essentially just for the 2 Digivolve, for no effect essentially, but we can Digivolve on top of the Tamer, so then we can, you know, go into our combos and plays. That's really it, but you want to maximize it because you need to see these hybrids ASAP. Next up, we have Kaizoleomon. This one's the better one, in my opinion, because this one, as long as you have Koichi underneath the sources or a hybrid underneath this guy's sources, you basically gain retaliation until the end of your opponent's turn, which is fantastic in helping you delete some big problems your opponent has, you know, big Digimon that they may have, or in generally, it's just a really powerful and yeah, really cool. So that's it for the level 4s. We only play 8 of them. So getting into our level 5s, we're going to start off with the 4 copies of Rihimon right here. Rihimon is just basically your bread and butter combo. Don't worry, we're going to show you guys the basic combo of how to play Rihimon, but he just does a lot of things. Just like all level 5s, you can basically just Digivolve for a cost of 1 as long as there's a Tamer underneath the Digimon you're attempting to Digivolve on top of. On deletion, you get to play a Purple Tamer. As long as there was a hybrid Digimon and its traits of its sources, you can play a Tamer, Purple Tamer from your trash without paying any memory cost. Usually you get to play the exact same Tamer underneath him already as well to really help extend your combos and make even more plays, which is really fantastic. And it's just really nice because your whole goal is you want to swing in with Rihimon, and even if it gets deleted, it just benefits you very greatly generally. So that's Rihimon. For the other level 5, I like to have one Rebellionmon right here. Very nice tech versatile card because if first of all, when Digivolving, you basically discard or trash 1 card from your hand, and then basically it gains blocker and retaliation until the end of your opponent's next turn. Very good in stopping especially big stack boards, or Digimon that has, you know, a strong Digimon that your opponent will feel uncomfortable trading with, because with the retaliation and blocker combination, it's just incredibly strong. And the other thing is, since because Rebellionmon is a blocker, it can help you sustain a little bit and give you a little bit of defensive capabilities during the situations in the game. So yeah, one Rebellionmon is great. So that's it for level 5s. Let's move into our level 6s, our boss Digimon right here. Our core strategy is Cherubimon that synergizes and puts all these pieces all together that we've shown so far together to play. Really powerful card, honestly. It costs 4 to Digivolve, but it does so many things. It's got 12,000 DP, which is fantastic as well. When Digivolving, you get to play 1 Purple Tamer card from your trash without paying memory cost. Then for each Tamer you have in play, you can delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon. Your opponent is going to have a lot of Flight Gate, lower end Digimon usually, and it's just so easy to pop them. Level 4s or lowers, it's just so good. You rack up so many Tamers in this deck, you can just board wipe them instantly, which is absolutely crazy. But that's not just all. The second effect is also extremely powerful because on deletion, for each Tamer you have in play, you get to play 1 level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying memory cost. Hence why we play so many of the yellow level 3s, because they just generally benefit the deck so much more. And you guys can see the combination with this card along with Bushi Agumon, allowing you to swing in for games after its deletion. It's just incredibly good. And yeah, this is why I love Cherubimon. He's just that cool. So that's it for all of our Digimon. Let's gonna go into our Tamers. So first off, we have the hybrid Tamer right here from BT7. Of course, we have to have 4 copies of Koichi. You want to see this card ASAP as soon as possible. Whenever you have it in the early game, you want to play it quickly because although purple doesn't have too much search power, but it has quite a lot of draw power. And Koichi provides you that draw power. You get to, on play, trash 1 card from draw 1 card and trash 1 card from your hand, cycling the pieces that you don't need from your hand and cycling pieces that you do want to keep to make your combos essentially. And it has a very nice inheritable where on deletion, you get to gain a memory. And memory blockers, Digimon cannot stop this since this is a Tamer. So it just works out very nicely in helping you come up with the purple strategies and the purple combos, which we will get into a little bit later once the deck profile is done. But yeah, 4 Koichis. Next up, you gotta have your memory Tamer. We have 3 mats right here. You gotta set your memory at 3. You do need 3 memory to pull off most of your combos to sort of reliably do damage and get value off. So 3 mats is just fantastic because on play you get to grab 1 purple Digimon or 1 purple option back from the trash to your hand, which is really great. But mainly, yeah, mat is the memory Tamer that serves for this deck right here. Next up, this card or this Tamer is absolutely insane, and I can go on days about talking about this card right here. You guys know what Ice Wall is? If you guys don't know what Ice Wall is, look it up first. But most of you probably do know what Ice Wall is. And there's a reason why Ice Wall is restricted to only one at this moment in time and at this point. And I don't see it coming off the list anytime soon. Kari is basically Ice Wall, but permanently, because you can use it turn after turn after turn. What basically Kari does is when a card is removed from your security stack in any way, you get to tap her and then basically gain a memory. And in the early stages of the game, or even in the middle stages, or even the late game stages, having Kari at all times is just going to make it very obnoxious and very difficult for your opponent to deal with, because essentially if they do swing in your security, if you have multiple Karis, you just suspend both of them or multiple of them, and your opponent basically loses their turn essentially by swinging. And not only that, it doesn't go away like Ice Wall does. So you guys can see why I want to maximize for this card without a doubt, and Kari is just that good essentially. Last but not least, we still have more Tamers to go through. We got 2 analog youths right here. I personally kind of want to play 3 for a little bit more consistency, but there's so many cards in this deck that the tight room space is just so tight. There's so many cards I like to play, and I think different cards, I like to play more different cards in my purple decks generally rather than consistency, simply because you can, get very adaptable. And that's what purple is. The more adaptable it is, the stronger it can actually become. And it comes down to how good you are as a player and how much practice you put in to basically play those cards. But anyways, with that out of the way, let's just quickly talk about Analog Youth, how it's so great for this deck. You on play, you basically review 3 cards and you add a Digimon, you trash the rest, which is very good in helping you set up for your trash, for combos, but also all turns, if a level 5 or higher Digimon that has sources that is deleted, you can suspend this Tamer and you gain a memory, hatch an egg into an empty slot, and it just combos so well, because with your Rihimon and your Cherubimon, you always actually want them to be deleted somehow, making it very nice along with the combos with Analog Youth essentially. So yeah, that's why you gotta play 2 of at least. So that's it for the Tamers. Now we got options. We got lots of options generally because purple is options. We first off have 2 Schwartz right here, just great for like wide board removal. We play so many Tamers anyways. We got hybrids. This is just fantastic card in helping you like control the board and take out anything that is level 5 or lower. Next we have Deathclaw. Deathclaw is a must-have in this deck. I think at least a 2, because this helps you facilitate your deletion effects, because you can't reliably have Rihimon and your Cherubimon get deleted by security or via your opponent's effects. Therefore, you have to use your own effects to delete them. And Deathclaw is great because this can help you pop your opponent's level 4 or lowers as well, stop their floodgates, stop their Pokemons, whatever you need to do. It's just always fantastic. And then same for Calling from Darkness. Calling from Darkness helps you recycle more pieces of Digimon that is purple from your trash and add them back to your hand, which is really, really good. So that's it for the purple options. And we do have a yellow option package that I would like to showcase you guys. So we first right here have 2 Blinding Rays. Blinding Ray is a really good card because we play a yellow egg base and rookie base. We can easily play yellow options in this deck, and Blinding Ray really helps you, give you even more combos in purple, and that's why it's so powerful in the combination with this whole Cherubimon deck. It's so combo heavy, and having that extra memory, you can just play even 3 or 4 more cards simply because you have Blinding Ray gaining that 2 memory, and it can go even further. And then last but not least, we have 1 Reinforcing Memory Boost right here. I just really like this card in general. Helps you search a little bit, helps you recover, also giving you a lot of memory later in the game when you need to use it to pop off and do a whole lot of crazy combos. But yeah, that's basically all the options and the entire 50 card deck profile. So I do want to quickly mention that Bandai has been jumping a lot around between like sort of the mulligan rules and the side deck rules and so on, and it's kind of hard to keep up with when you're building decks. So the 50 card deck I have right there is pretty much standard. I like to keep it the way it is, and mostly it's very consistent and it's fantastic. But just in case for you guys who are wondering what if we do have side deck rules and side decks are allowed, I mean, I came up with a 5 card side deck just in case based on the most recent rules of Ultimate Cup for you guys here right as well. So for the side deck, I have 1 more Rebellion, which is fantastic because when you're against big stack decks or against decks that are really, really strong with powerful boss Digimon, you need Rebellion to stop your opponent from wanting to swing with them, because it helps create a lot more pressure. And having 1 in the main deck is not as consistent, so playing an extra 1 really, really helps. Very similar to the discussion I was saying earlier just now, I want to play 1 more Deathclaw because if your opponent has a lot of level 3s, a lot of level 4s that you want to pop, and you need to reliably pop your own Digimon to sort of pull off your purple combos, then playing one more Deathclaw just really greatly helps. And then also for top end removal, I have one Fly Bullet right here. I think Fly Bullet is just great because, yeah, we don't have a whole lot of top end removal generally in this deck other than like the Rebellion with Retaliation. Therefore, having one Fly Bullet just helps greatly combat against those matches. Last but not least, this is a little bit of a sort of like a consideration I thought of playing in the main deck before, but it's also a really good side deck card. And that's basically the two Mimis right here. Basically, when a player uses an option, you suspend her and you gain a memory. This is really good against the blue matchup. Blue is so popular right now, and playing the Mimi basically helps you negate one of their Hammer Sparks for the turn. And that can mean a long way because like just negating one single Hammer Spark, you can stop your opponent from going into game against you. Or not even that, but if you play your own option, you can tap Mimi and giving you that one memory back, essentially making your option for free, which is really good. And she's only a 2 cost as well, which is very affordable and a fantastic tamer to definitely want to play. So I highly suggest like siding this Mimi in against your opponent, especially if they're playing blue, essentially. So this is my 5-card side deck right here for you guys. So with the deck profile out of the way and fully completed, let's show you guys a couple of the really cool combos we got here. Alright guys, combo time. There's so many combos you could be playing in purple, and I could go all day with the different scenarios that you would be in, but let's just go through the most basic ones for you guys who are learning to play for the very first time. So very important, you always want to have 3 memory. I mean, any combo I showcase, you want to have 3 memory, which is why the memory tamers are so important. Or if your opponent passes you the 3 and you already have a Koichi to begin with. So all you have to do is really, you need a level 4 hybrid, and then you need a Digimon. That's all you really need to do. So you basically Digivolve on top of your Koichi into Laui, you pay the 2, and then you pay the 1 to Digivolve into Digimon right here. And afterwards, you would basically use your Digimon to swing into Security or swing into, I don't know, whatever Digimon your opponent may have, and so on. Now, if Digimon gets deleted in Security or in any form, you usually do want your Digimon to be deleted in some form or way. Let's just say there's 2 different ways. You can either get deleted by Security, which is kind of likely in this format, but let's just say right here you have a Deathclaw and your opponent has a Pokemon. You can activate your Deathclaw to pay the 1 to delete the Digimon. There you go. Koichi on deletion will gain you back a memory, retaining your turn at 0. Digimon's on deletion effect will trigger, allowing you to play any tamer back. You can play the same Koichi that you basically trashed just now, or you can play a Matt, you can play a Kari, whatever you wish to do so. But let's just say you play the Koichi back right here, cycling it really nicely, and then Koichi will let you draw 1 and trash 1 as well. And depending on what you have, what resources, you have to juggle very carefully on what you need. Or if you ever do choose to play the Mat back, you can actually grab yourself the same Reheat back, or even the Deathclaw that you just played, which is really good. The other quick combo would also be that if you had Kaiser Leo instead of Laui, so same again, you go onto your Kaiser Leo immediately will have the retaliation. You can swing into something and then basically get deleted, and then you basically retaliate against your opponent's bigger Digimon, whatnot, and that's really nice. Or if you want to, you can go to 0 and go into Rihi, and then Rihi can swing into that Digimon as well. Let's just say your opponent has a Jesmon or a big whatever, you swing into it, and then you get deleted, you retaliate against it because you get the retaliation on top even with Reheat, and then you get to gain your memory back and do your combos once again, which is really cool. Essentially right here, Reheat will grab you once again, grab you back another tamer, I don't know, you play another Mat, and then you grab the Reheat again. It's just very flexible, and it's very nice when you pull these combos off. All right, now let's show you guys the Cherubimon combo. Once again, Digivolve into Kaiser Leo to basically get into your level 4, and then you need to pay 1 to get into your Reheat. And then right here, sometimes you may have a bit more memory to work with, which is great, but then you want to finish off by Digivolving with a Cherubimon. Cherubimon will let you grab the tamer back. Let's just say you grab the Kari right here, and then you basically get to pop your opponent's board based on how many tamers you have. You have 2 things. Usually you actually would have more, so you can pop even more things with it, which is really great. But then that's Cherubimon sitting here right there. Now, moving forward to the next turn, this is what you want to do. Your opponent usually will not want to pop your Cherubimon, because if they pop your Cherubimon, you basically get the effect off. Now, this is really important why during the early game stages, you can actually feel aggressive and swinging with your Bokomons, swinging with your Salamons, swinging with your Cutemons, swinging with your Bushis, because you want to rack them up as ASAP and as quickly as you can. Whether you're Digivolving right here and then raising them up, pushing them up, or whether you're trashing them into your trash, you want to make sure you're loaded with these guys right here. Because the next play is your opponent's going to pass you back to 3 right here, and this is where the crazy combo comes in, essentially. So many things you can do. So, of course, you first want to swing with Cherubimon, swing to the security. Usually in this format, it's going to survive. So what you want to do afterwards is play Deathclaw for 1. Koichi on deletion will gain you a memory, so you basically play it for free. So basically your Cherubimon will now get popped. And because you have 2 Tamers, and once again, usually you probably have more. Let's just say you even have an analog youth, you get to basically bring 3 back right here. So you play Cutemon, Bushi, Cutemon, and then Salamon, or even Bokomon. Let's just say you play these 3 right here, and then you basically get to resolve your Bokomon's effect, searching for more cards. You still have free memory to play with, essentially, for the whole turn. To do a whole lot of other combos, you can now swing in with Bushi right here. You have Cutemon to stop their level 5s if needed. If you don't have Cutemon and you have extra Bushis in your trash, you can really easily just go for more multiple swings and games and check even more security right here. And then now, if you most likely again would have more hybrids in your hand. So you can do your hybrid combos right here. You can go into Lowy for free because you have Bokomon, swing in for another check right here, go into Kaiser Leo for the 2, pay the 2, swing in for another check if you want. If not, you pay the 1 to go into Rihi, and then Rihi will swing into something, get deleted, and then on deletion you get to cycle back a Matt will grab you more stuff back, anything you want essentially. And it's just that crazy. You can just go on and on and on and on with these combos, which is why Cherubimon is incredibly fun to play. So these are all the combos I really want to show you guys mostly, and it's really up to you guys to put in the time, effort, and practice to master these different combos, to understand what you need in the different situations. This is why Purple is so fluid and so flexible and so powerful, because it really comes down to your personal experience and skill to sort of play around different things. And yeah, combos and effects just stack on each other again and again and again, over and over and over, and you can just do a lot of crazy things. So this is why I love playing Purple. That will conclude for my very own deck building strategy and in-depth guide for Purple Hybrids with Cherubi deck profile video. If you guys enjoyed the video and found it helpful, please give it a like. If you have any suggestions, recommendations, or questions, be sure to share it with everyone in the comments down below. We've got lots more deck profiles coming out real soon and content, so be sure to hit that subscribe button right now and turn on that notification bell to stay tuned. Once again, if you guys haven't seen our latest Battle of Nyx Adventure series, go check it out right now. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. And this is AVAULT, signing out.